I want to do a video regarding condemning the homosexual LGBT for comparing themselves to the black struggle. First of all, by doing that, it shows that you have an ego, a big ego, and it also shows you are naive regarding African history. To compare your sexual behavior, most of it which is consent, in fact probably all of it which is consent and not genetically born, and even if it was genetically born, to compare your so-called struggles to use a woman's bathroom or to bugger another man or woman, as the case may be, is an insult to black people, a total insult. Sorry, the sun's shining. Let's hope it disappears shortly. It's a total insult, and the only reason why they can get away with it is because black people have no shame. Black people don't mind comparing their struggles to anything deviant or dysfunctional, because the black community has, and the family has become dysfunctional. It has become deviant, so therefore it's quite natural that we should hook our causes with other deviant variant groups. Now, if you look in England alone, where you had racial divisions, where people don't want to live blacks or whites together. If black people move in, then the whites moved out, which is called the white flight. That alone, which is still prevalent today. Nobody moves out when LGBT or homosexual moves in, right? This so-called LGBT homosexual pain is either invented or it's a camouflage to militarize the LGBT cause in such a way that we almost tolerate the most perverse thing that you want to do. LGBT and homosexuals do not go for the level, nowhere near it, as black people do. The only reason why the black people are quiet and silent regarding you using the black civil rights card, quote unquote, is because black people are in a conundrum. They're in a predicament where we really have no love for ourselves, and therefore we don't care who comes and use our cause. A pedophile actually said the other day that he was comparing the pedophile study, the pedophile struggle, inverted commas, yet pedophile struggle, to interracial relationship between black and white. And he was arguing that in America, if you're a black dating a white woman, it was seen as perverse, and it was seen as sexually and culturally and racially immoral. This is the argument of the pedophile, that a black man dating a white woman was seen as immoral and perverse. Now, a lot of people use comparisons, to argue their point. Like if a homosexual wants to adopt a child, and people are arguing, well, the chance of you abusing that child is very high. They will then quote to you, well, we know homosexuals who abuse children. A lot of people, to argue their point, they tend to try to find some other excuse, like quoting some other sources to justify what they want to do. And what's interesting is that the LGBT uses the same technique whenever they want to enforce. They use the black. I mean, funny enough, let me give an example. It's like a tranny. who argued that heterosexuals who play tranny positions and cross-dressing, they're arguing it's like blacking up, blackface. They totally misunderstand the historical context of when white people blacked up their face. Right, totally understand, but it's okay. Dip into the goodies, the goodie bags of the civil right, black civil right, and take out of context whatever you want and use it for your own perverse cause. And that's what pedophiles do, and that's what LGBT do, and have been doing it a long time. So black people now are being compared to pedophiles and to LGBT, and no black person fights. No black person has anything to say about it. We don't mind people using Martin Luther King's dream. We didn't benefit from it. The LGBT benefited from it. I had a dream, and one day black people didn't benefit from that dream because whites and blacks still hate each other. You can walk. Now this is Britain. Britain's backwards to America. Britain is nowhere like America. But you could walk into a restaurant, being a tranny, an LGBT, and even a pregnant white male. And in Britain, they turn a blind eye, don't even notice. This idea that LGBT claim they are victimized, it's a lie. These people are mentally ill, and what they're doing, they're trying to destroy society, destroy heterosexual tradition, because they probably couldn't pull. They probably had problems, getting, the opposite sex interested in them. So that they're on a roll to really take their revenge out on society by screwing things up. However, black people need to take some self-respect, some pride, and reclaim back this civil rights, because it was not about perversion. It was not about promoting mental health, mental illness. It was about an historical wrong that was done towards black people. But it's because we had no shame, it's because we had no sense of respect, that we allowed the likes of pedophiles and LGBT and homosexuals to come in and hijack our cause. No LGBT or homosexual is going to move into an area and you face heterosexual flight, heterosexual move out because trannies moved in. They're not going to get that. You're not going to find, because a tranny or LGBT, right, has taken over an office block or a whole company. You're not going to find heterosexuals feeling inadequate and threatening heterosexual versus tranny war. No, you never hear of that. You always hear blacks and white race war. The Martin Luther King's dream has disappeared. The rift between blacks and whites are serious, and the government are focusing on this mental health group, LGBT. They should not even be in the picture. The whole world is bisexual. The whole world does buggery. The whole world sodomizes their wives. So the whole world is minority group. The whole world is an LGBT. If you bugger your wife, you're already bisexual. So that destroys that cause. That puts in the bin. The real civil rights is blacks and whites. The race war always brimming between blacks and whites. The hate that exists is between blacks and whites, not LGBT, not trannies. These are a group of mentally ill people who are just bent to destroy the world, to destroy heterosexual tradition and family values, because they're messed up. And if the government were serious, they would be focusing on healing the love between blacks and whites. That is where the civil rights issue laid. That was the foundation. But instead, the BBC became perverted when they twisted Martin Luther King's dream and pretended it was for LGBT, it was for gays, it was for blacks. They turned it upside down. And who the hell benefiting from Martin Luther King's dream? Not black people, LGBT, trannies, pedophiles. Gets you angry. It really does. It really does. When you watch TV, the accuse Donald Trump of being homophobic and racist, always together, homophobic and racist. They always put the term together. And notice they never put sexism, they never put women, because they know that to compare a tranny and LGBT to sexism, woman, is degrading. You never hear them say LGBT, right, homosexual and sexism. They know what they're doing. Instead, black people and LGBT, black people and homosexual. When you look and break it down, you begin to realize the black people have become like dogs. We become in the barrel. We become low down. That our cause now is being used and seen as the same level as some sexual behavior. I don't know what to say. Sometimes it's horrible being compared to a batio, being compared to sodomy. Your whole history, your whole African black civilization being compared to anal, and black people are okay with it. Black people are happy. Or you wonder why I hate my race?